Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your May 2019 mid-month general reading. We're looking at the remainder of May, the last couple of weeks of May. Thanks to everyone for joining us here today, and welcome to any newcomers, first-timers, and welcome back to any followers and subscribers. Thank you for tuning in today and for sending in all your support, feedback, and comments. Always appreciated. Thanks to all of my clients out there, regular and new. You guys keep me so busy with personal readings. It's a joyful, wonderful busyness, and I'm always honored by it. Thank you. For those of you who are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, live or recorded, as many of you know, you can get info and contact details by clicking on the description link below or going to my YouTube channel's homepage, clicking on the About button. You'll see my email address there, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. Please feel free to email me directly. I do a wide variety of readings in all areas of life, and I can usually respond to your initial request with more info within the first 24 hours. And scheduling actual readings is pretty good too. I do readings full-time, 6 days a week. It is all that I do. So I'm pretty diligent at working with your schedule and mine to get you readings as quickly as possible. So if you're interested, send me an email. We will go from there. So moving into this reading, this is for the water sign of Cancer for the remainder of May 2019. Our crabs, our Cancerians. So let's see what's in store for Cancer for the remainder of May 2019. If you know your rising and moon sign and your Venus sign, watch those videos as well because they can provide additional clarification. As many of you know, general readings always resonate a little differently for everybody watching, so it's a good idea to watch some of your other signs if you know them. Okay, Cancer. Remainder of May 2019. Okay, Cancer, we begin with the Knight of Swords, followed by the Six of Wands. We have Temperance, followed by Justice, from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy and focus for the remainder of May is the Eight of Wands. Interesting mix of energy I'm getting, Cancer. I feel like there's a lot of information. I feel like there's a lot of communication going on between you and someone else about something that's important to you and this other person. It could be in a relationship, about a relationship. It could be about a job or work situation as well. I feel like there's this sense of kind of excitement and making plans to move forward with something, and there's a sense of excitement and victory about it. But I'm feeling a bit of caution about it too, like needing to be cautious about it and to be careful not to try and maintain a balance and not get caught up in the emotions produced by this communication and conversation exchange between you and someone else. This may be one of those readings. I mean, I try to interpret the readings and pick up whatever messages I can to cover a variety of areas, not just love and romance or relationships. Not everybody wants to tune into those kind of readings, but job, work, and career, spiritual issues, health issues. But sometimes I get very clearly just a specific set of messages, and this may be one of those because I feel like for a lot of you, this may have to do with making plans about your life and somebody else's life because you're in some kind of a relationship or partnership together. For some of you, it might be in job, work, and career. For others of you, I feel like the relationship is more personal, whether it's a love romance or a friendship, partnership, communication, exchange, perhaps travel. is the focus of the remainder of May 2019. You might be traveling, thinking of traveling, making plans for traveling, but discussing these plans with other people, although I feel like there's one specific person. It could be somebody that you're in partnership or relationship with who's traveling or making plans for that. There's a general sense of excitement about it because I feel like this is something you're personally involved in. We have the Knight of Swords and the Six of Wands. Knights are the bringers, the deliverers of the tarot. They are usually known for representing also the speed at which situations move. All four of the knights are known for being rather spontaneous and fast moving, although some are faster moving than others depending on the element which governs them. This is air, information, ideas, messages, news, bringing that in, planning, making plans, making active plans to move forward with something, because that's what the Knight of Swords does. That's what the knights do. They make plans to charge forward into something, or they bring opportunities to do that. And there's a lot of communication and conversation about this. I feel like there is an aspect of this for some of you that includes travel, maybe making plans to move forward with somebody, to travel with somebody. And there's some sense of an underlying victory or excitement about it, or having won something, because the Knight of Swords is accompanied by the Six of Wands, which is a victory card, victory and triumph after a struggle. It's a card of public recognition and of celebration as well. And I feel this kind of underlying sense, but Wands is fire energy. That's the element which governs the suit. And fire is very action oriented and forward moving. So it feels like some of you have been through some kind of difficult situation in the recent past, although I feel like the situation itself has been kind of ongoing. It feels like maybe as a result of some conversation and communication with you, you're deciding to move forward and make plans to move forward, specifically those of you that are making these plans with another person. And there's this sense of getting caught up in the excitement of that. But I feel a bit of caution, because I feel like whatever the challenge or the difficulty was, particularly within a relationship or partnership, I feel like even though, excuse me, you may have had conversations about it, I feel like for some of you, the issue is really not resolved. It's just that in talking about it, and in talking about where you're going in the future, there may have been questions as to whether you're moving forward with this relationship or partnership or even work situation. And for some reason, you're just making the decision to move forward with it. And there's this sense of getting kind of caught up in the excitement about it, and maybe traveling too as well. Interesting. But I feel this sense of needing to, the advice here is about needing to be kind of cautious and maintaining a balance in this, because I don't think whatever it was that you feel, this is usually a card about victory from overcoming something. But I feel like for some of you, be careful, because what you feel has, for some of you, what you feel may have been overcome is just kind of been maybe swept under the carpet, or it's been talked about and maybe feelings have gotten out, but no real solution has been implemented. And so moving forward, you're caught up in the excitement of moving forward and the action and momentum of moving forward. But the concern is that you may end up a little ways down the road regretting that, because you may find that nothing's really changed and you're in the same situation again. That's what I'm getting. We have Temperance and Justice here. Temperance is about maintaining that balance, which is, in my opinion, a state of fluidity. Temperance is kind of about achieving a perfect balance, or achieving perfection, or it's about holding opposite extremes in unison and harmony. In the culinary world, to temper something means to take something hot and something cold and blend them together so that they achieve this amalgamous, beautiful harmony of flavors, and it's a marriage. But it has to be done in a certain way. You have to put in a little bit of the hot into the cold and kind of warm it up a little, because if you pour everything in all together, it kind of shocks and it won't go together. It will refuse to go together, and things will break and curdle like sauces and things like that. So it's the art of tempering something is actually a process. I know a lot of people think of perfection or the state of balance as being something that you reach and then you stay there, that it's a static thing, but I don't believe that it is. It's like being in the middle of a seesaw or teeter-totter. When you're in the center, you have achieved temperance, you're grounded. When you're on the outside ends, you're at the mercy of your own thoughts and emotions, other people, situations, and when things go up and down, you're prone to losing your balance and falling off. Being in the middle means that you're grounded. You know who you are, what your truth is, where you're going. Even on bad days, when those outside arms go up and down, you might wobble, but you rarely ever lose your balance and fall off. But it's a constantly shifting state in order to maintain that balance, that center, that temperance. And it's a constantly fluid process. Just like, tempering two ingredients together, it can't be done all at once. And you have to, once you reach that balance, you have to, kind of periodically stir it. So I feel this kind of caution about, getting caught up in the throes of moving forward and feeling like something has been overcome, but maybe not really for some of you, and needing to maintain a sense of balance. And for those of you that still are continuing to choose to move forward in this, because you can, we live in a free will zone, don't rush ahead. Do it step by step and see how things feel as you go along, because you may have to change. Again, the caution and the danger, the challenge that I'm feeling is that you're just caught up in the rush to move ahead into something because you feel like something's been resolved, but in fact it may not have been resolved in a practical way, even though you may have talked about it, and you may find yourself facing the same challenge or in the same situation or relationship issues a little ways down the road, having regretted putting all of this planning into moving forward into something that you feel is going to be one thing, but it turns out to be something different. Justice is the reap what you sow card. The results that you get are entirely dependent on the actions that you take and the decisions that you make. So think carefully. It's also about doing the right thing, being honest, open, transparent, and operating with the highest level of personal honor and integrity and truth that you can. So again, be careful about being caught up in moving forward. I feel like something feels like it's been resolved, but for some of you may not in fact be. This may not be the situation that you're meant to move forward in. Interesting energy. Let me see if I can pull a couple of clarifying cards to see what this is about, or any advice or guidance. The Eight of Cups and the Knight of Cups. Cups is water energy, energy of the heart, emotional energy, relationship energy sometimes as well. It's about our emotional landscape, fluid, watery energy. So the Eight of Cups and the Knight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is a card about leaving something behind, walking away from something, turning away from something, leaving it behind, because even though you may not have finished the entire thing, you've tasted and drunk from enough of these cups to know that this isn't what you want. You might be disappointed, disillusioned. It's not satisfying you. It's not leading to joy and fulfillment, so you're turning your back on it. Why? We have the Knight of Cups. Knights are the bringers. This is the Knight of Cups. This could be an offer, I feel, of love, of support, an offer. The Knight of Cups comes in. He's very romantic. He's got that watery emotional energy, and he comes in and he promises the moon and courts you with, wine and roses and chocolates and dancing by moonlight. And it's a beautiful energy, and can be very sincere at the time. I don't doubt that the Knight of Cups believes everything that he's offering and professing. But the Knight of Cups challenge is that he's somewhat mercurial and fluid because he's water, and he may get caught up in the heat of the moment as well and promise something that he later may find the day-to-day reality of actually making it practical, living it out, may be too much of a challenge, and he may not have the ability to follow through with it. So, which again I feel is the cautionary energy here. I feel like this is potentially could be a very fast-moving, fluid situation. I feel like perhaps for some of you, you may be have gotten over or feel like you've gotten over some kind of difficult period. Perhaps with another person, and they're making you a promise or offering something and saying everything is going to be great, it's going to be beautiful, and you feel like you've achieved some kind of victory because you've discussed things. But I'm not sure if moving forward you're not going to find yourself in the same place down the road, particularly if you rush ahead into this. It may be that you rush into this and then find yourself in a place where you're like, this hasn't changed, nothing has changed, this relationship hasn't changed, this situation hasn't changed, but now I've made all these plans and I'm in this place and nothing has really changed. I'm back where I started from, because this person couldn't really follow through, or I couldn't follow through, or etc., and you end up having to leave again, or you may end up again, this is a general reading. Your story may be a little different. It may resonate for some of you and maybe not for many of you. It feels pretty specifically oriented. But be careful not to get so caught up in rushing forward into something, thinking a battle has been won, when it hasn't really, not in a realistic way. So if you're going to move forward, do so with your eyes open, one step at a time here. Some of you may in fact consider this offer or opportunity, and maybe even by the end of the month or the beginning of June decide that you can't. The chances that really there hasn't been enough changes to justify you taking this leap of faith or putting a lot of plans into traveling or moving even, and so you make a decision not to. Let's see what the ultimate outcome is from those of you who make the decision to leave something behind because you don't think that realistically it's going to be what you want. Because I think some of you may make that decision, or you're being asked to consider that. For those of you who do walk away, I think this is where your gut instinct and your intuition will tell you if something has really been solved or not. For those who make the decision to turn away from this offer that can't be followed through with, because this Knight of Cups, he's sincere in the moment, but again, his challenge is he's not a king or a queen yet. The challenge is in following through, getting caught up in the emotions, needing to stay balanced. What is the ultimate outcome for those who choose to walk away? We have the Sun here. The Sun represents illumination, clarity, and uplifting of energy. It could be that some of you make the decision, you may get kind of caught up in this and then make the decision not to move forward. For those of you who do that, I think ultimately it's going to bring you a sense of relief, a sense of uplifting of energy, and a sense of illumination and clarity too, because the Sun illumines everything. It's a very positively influential card. Interesting reading, Cancer. I feel like this is going to resonate for a smaller number of you than I usually think it will. Yeah, and again, free will zone. Those of you who get caught up in this, you can make decisions to move forward. Everybody's situation is a bit different. But just for those of you who do decide to move forward, particularly if it involves moving, relocating, or traveling, just be careful and don't commit to too much up front. And make sure that you kind of check every couple of steps if things are working out the way that you want to, especially if you've been promised something moving forward. You need to make sure that that manifests in a very real, day-to-day, practical sort of way. So, interesting reading, somewhat tricky. So Cancer, that pretty much wraps up your reading for the remainder of May 2019. If any of you are interested in scheduling a personal reading with me, particularly if this resonated with you, please feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I'd be most happy to work with you. You can click on the description link below for more info, or the little About button on my YouTube channel's homepage. I do love and romance readings, compatibility charting, career work and finance, investment readings. I offer gift readings for friends, family, and loved ones, and also 6 and 12-month overviews, which take a look at what's coming in your life over the next 6 or 12 months, depending on how far ahead you want to look. You can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo, which is good for fast answers to quick, easy questions. So a variety of things to choose from. Those of you who are interested, I look forward to hearing from you. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the June 2019 general readings. June already. And until then, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life, Cancer, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.